Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's so good to see everybody. I hope you're having a lovely morning so far. Henry's going to join us at the end. Let's go ahead and start our medical Qigong practice. Warming up, we're going to open up to the left. Settling into the space. Bringing our awareness to the bottoms of the feet, letting them melt into the earth. Softening the knees, relaxing the low back, relaxing the shoulders, allowing the very top of the head to reach into the sky. Bringing the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. We're going to start tapping with the right hand to open up the left side of the body, starting about 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button in the lower dantian. Working our way up the midline. Connecting our mind's eye, our mind's awareness with the areas that are being activated through the tapping. Opening up the channels in the upper body. Activating the chi and blood flow. And wiping out anything you don't need or want, letting it go back into the earth. Switching sides. Breathing in and out through the nose. Letting the breath reach deep inside the body. Widening the stance, getting ready to open up those channels in the lower half of the body, tapping the inner thigh and up at the hip. Transitioning. Once you reach the glutes and the hips, sliding that left foot closer to the right, maintaining the hip width, shoulder width distance. And continuing to the low back. Placing the palms at the low back, circling down the sides and up the spine. Gathering energy here, starting to create some warmth in the kidneys and the kidney area. And then resting the palms at the low back, closing the eyes. Taking a few moments here to inhale, guiding the breath in the chi to the low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, guiding the breath in the chi to the kidneys, allowing them to fill up with energy. And exhaling, allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Allowing the breath to help relax the body. And allowing the chi to flow freely to wherever it's needed within the body. When you're ready, gently opening the eyes, letting the arms come back down to the sides and closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. We're first starting out with our heart and small intestine exercise from the basic 8. Opening. Inhaling as we gather in front of the lower dantian with our claws. Exhaling as we position. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, sweeping the arms out to the sides, letting the backs of the hands brush the inner thigh. Repositioning. Allowing the breath to guide the movements. Keeping the claws nice and strong, as much as it does not hurt the joints. And about one more time. And releasing the hands, closing. Moving on now to our Golden 8 series, the lung and large intestines exercise, reach for happiness. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Continuing on at your own pace. Allowing yourself to sink into the breath, sinking into the exercise. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our archer exercise for the heart and small intestine. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Allowing the breath to carry you from side to side. Getting ready to close. Closing. Spleen and stomach between heaven and earth. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our Sanjiao exercise. Turn and look back. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. In. And out. Getting ready to close. Closing. Liver and gallbladder twist and release. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Trying to allow breath to generate the movement. Getting ready to close. Closing. Kidney and urinary bladder bend for health. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. Out. And inhaling back to start. And getting ready to close. Closing for the Ren channel, our energy punch. Inhaling, exhaling, in and out. And closing. Our last exercise of the Golden Eight for the Do channel in 2 parts. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. Part 2, inhaling and exhaling. Closing. Keeping the feet together. Bringing the palms together, rubbing them, bringing some of that wonderful chi to the palms. Washing the face 9 times. Wiping the brow and under the eye. Up and down the entirety of the nose. We're still doing 9, but we're doing 9 circles inward, 9 circles outward, bottom, middle, upper aspect of the nose. Underneath the pupil at the cheekbone, there's a divot. And then using all fingertips to dredge the channels of the scalp. Beating the drum. And grasping the ear. Popping the cork. And then circling inward, then outward 9 times, connecting the Ren and the Du. Using the base of the palm, massaging the jaw. Our number now changes to 12. It's 12 times total, or 6 times each side. Drawing the energy from the head down into the body, down the throat first. And then down the breastbone. Placing the palms now at the lower dantian. Traditionally, men place their left hand first, right hand on top. Women, it's right and then left. We're drawing up the right and down the left 9 times. We're starting to gather all that wonderful energy into the lower dantian. And then switching direction. Concentrating that energy, caramelizing that energy into the lower dantian. Resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. As we inhale, we're guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. And then exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so that we may use it throughout the rest of our day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax, body to relax. Allowing the chi to gather into the lower dantian, settle and store. Thank you, wonderful people. Happy Tuesday. Henry, are you there for our chi chat?
Oh yeah, hello.
Hey.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's class 55, so amazing. If you've been joining us since the beginning, we're almost at the 2-month mark. So please keep it up. If you just start with us, you can start at any time and start that cycle. We really want to challenge you to that 60-day challenge of doing Qigong every day. So yesterday we talked a bit about how to differentiate between the different elements as it manifests in each of us, like personality-wise. So just a quick review, like wood, for example, quintessential wood is kind of the ultra-competitive, the athlete person. And fire is kind of more spontaneous, someone who leads by their heart, literally. So an artist might be someone that you could sort of think of when you think of fire, someone who's very creative, someone who's more spontaneous. And then the next element, earth. When we think about earth people, we look at someone who takes care of everybody. For example, like a Mother Earth kind of personality. And then metal, we look at someone who, it's like a scientist, someone who's more by the numbers, maybe a little bit more aloof, someone who's more logic oriented, someone who's more striving for perfection. And then the fifth element, water. Water, we look at someone who's like a philosopher, someone who's more thinking about the bigger picture, some of the philosophical things in life. Why do we exist? What's the meaning of life? Those are the questions that someone who has a lot of water ponders. So with that in mind, not all of us are these things. And I do want to suggest that, we're not striving to have an equal amount of each element, just like we're not trying to strive to have an equal amount of yin and yang at all times. Remember that S curve I talked about with yin and yang? Sometimes the balance with yin and yang is 60-40, sometimes it's 20-80, sometimes it's 90-10, and sometimes it's 50-50. But you really have to be in the moment to understand what's right for you at a particular time. Similarly with the 5 elements, is sometimes you want to bring out your water, you want to have that wisdom, and sometimes you want to be spontaneous, and sometimes you want to just get things done. So within each of us, there are moments that we see that element manifest, and some of us, it's harder to connect with certain elements than others. Some of us find it a lot easier to be creative. Some of us find it a lot easier to maybe just focus in on a task and get things done. And other people may have the exact opposite, where they have trouble being spontaneous. They have trouble getting focused and getting down and getting to work for whatever reason. So understanding where you are with your elements will help you figure out how to move forward, right? So one of the things that we look at when we look at how do we figure out how to help ourselves and help other people too, is to look at how we can sort of feed these elements, like how to make one stronger and one weaker. Part of it is just understanding things from a 5-element perspective. So that's what we've been trying to learn these past few weeks, is understanding how 5-element works, how does it break down, how does it manifest, and now we can look at, well, how do we treat this? So in Chinese medicine, like if you're coming to my office and we diagnose you, one of the ways that I diagnose is based on 5 elements and seeing like, well, what element are you weak in? What element are you maybe in excess of? So that we can help figure out what the balance is to help you on a healing path. Now, for those of you who are just here, you may not have like a medical condition. It may not be that serious, but you still want to kind of know, what can you do to sort of help be more effective, or to help you accomplish certain things in your life, right? So like some of you might say, well, I just have trouble getting focused. Well, you probably need more wood if you want to do that. So how do we generate more wood? Right? One way to generate more wood is to really hang out with people who have a lot of wood, and that kind of rubs off on you. It's the same thing with all the other elements. Is if you're weak in that element, if you're weak in fire, if you're weak in metal, if you want to be more perfectionistic or have like maybe a higher quality of what you do, maybe you hang out with more metal people. If you want more sagely advice, maybe you want to kind of figure out what the meaning of life is, well, hang out with more water people. Okay, so on one hand, you can find people like that, connect with them, make friends with them, and sort of have that element rub off and sort of see what they do, and you can sort of copy and mimic what they do. On the other hand, you can also look at what we say is the generating cycle. Okay, so if you're weak in one element, we look at generating cycle. And what the generating cycle means is that, there's a cycle of the 5 elements. So it starts with wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Okay, so the element that comes before is the one that generates the one that follows. So for example, if you need more wood, you would go to the element before, which would be water. Okay, so you would want to generate more water to generate more wood. So you don't always just work with, like what I said earlier was, if you're weak in wood, you can generate more wood to make more wood, but you can also generate more water to make more wood. So there's 2 strategies you can go to do this if you're weak in the element. So what does that mean? Like if you, so I'll give you an example. Okay, so wood is about focus, is about getting things done. And in order to do that, right, one of the things you look at is purpose, right? There's a lot of people that talk about, you know, in order to really, you know, hone in on something, you really need to know what your reason is behind what you're doing. If you don't have a good reason, you know, at some point you're going to be like, well, this doesn't have any meaning to me. Why am I focused on doing this thing? Right? So you need that water, you need that wisdom. So you need to sort of meditate, you need to connect with yourself. And that's more of the water aspect to fuel your wood. So actually, you know, generating more of that water helps you focus, because then you find a purpose in your life. And I find that to be really true in my life, because I've gone through several times in my life where, you know, I lost focus and, you know, something bad happens, a big, you know, downturn in the cycle. Even now we're kind of struggling, right? A little bit with like stress, and there's a lot of things going on and a lot of uncertainty. But once you find your purpose that's internal to you, okay, you're going to have a new sense of focus. So I would suggest, you know, that's one strategy. Hope that makes sense to you. Similarly, let's take a look at fire, right? So fire element is all about spontaneity, but it can burn itself out if you're leading by your heart all the time. Okay, some of you may have trouble doing that. Wood helps you focus and helps ignite that fire. So when we look at the emotions of wood, it's anger and passion, right? So if you're able to really connect with that passion, really connect with that anger, it not only gets you more focused, it also allows you to really ignite your fire, really feel that burn, like this big ball of fire just explodes. So you can sort of ignite it that way. And the wood provides fuel for the fire. So, you know, if you're able to generate some sparks, but you don't have a lot of wood, or what we say fuel, then it's going to be a very short-lived fire. So that's why in order to have good fire, you also need to have good wood behind it. And similarly with the other elements. So this is about the generating cycle. I just want to pull up a chart real quick so you understand visually what I'm talking about. So we're going to go back to, so this is the chart, just to give you a quick reminder of how this works, is with the wood, right? So this is generating cycle going clockwise here: fire, earth, metal, water. So you look at not just the element that you want to maybe have more energy in, but you want to look at the element before that. So that's why I really love the 5 elements. This is a really good way to sort of step back and understand perhaps what you can do. Now, I want to remind you that, you know, we can't all be all elements at all the time. We have certain gifts, and you really want to be able to accept and utilize those gifts. So don't always try to do something that's really not in your wheelhouse. With Qigong, we're trying to connect with what our gifts are, and each of us, that's different. So, you know, the goal is not to have an even amount of all the elements. It's really like if your gift is wood, but a lot of people don't use their gifts, right? A lot of times in life, we're trying to be someone else. And then it takes time. Like, I'm a late bloomer, so it took time for me to really understand what my gifts were and to accept them and to use them. So I really recommend that don't look at this as you're trying to get 20% equally of all the elements, right? You want to sort of uncover, what are your gifts? Maybe your gift is fire, but you haven't been using that fire. Or maybe your gift is water, but you haven't been using that water. So you really want to be able to accept that and connect with that and use that. Okay, so that's I think enough chit chat for today. Thank you for sticking around and joining us. We'll be talking more about this in the coming days. If you have any questions, if you want me to focus on certain things to talk about, I'd love to do that too. So just private message me or send me an email. But thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow, 8:15.